something strange happens in your 30s and 40s. The vacations that used to feel exciting suddenly start feeling exhausting. Too many flights, too much noise, too much making the most of every second. And eventually, you stop wanting chaos disguised as relaxation. That's really why wellness retreats hit differently at this stage of life. Not because you suddenly become obsessed with green juice and sunrise yoga, but because rest starts feeling valuable in a completely different way. Something that taps into that shift really well is Flashback Pause. It's a collection of well-being trips built specifically for solo travellers, with separate groups for people aged 30 to 49 and 45 to 59, and honestly, that changes the atmosphere immediately. You're surrounded by people who understand the same life pressures, careers, overstimulation, burnout, all of it. The trips themselves mix well-being with connection, so one experience might mean meditating beneath a sacred tree in the Ecuadorian Amazon, while another could involve candlelit wine tasting in rural Spain or dance sessions on Caribbean beaches in Colombia. And because most people arrive solo, the whole thing feels surprisingly easy socially. The Dreaming in Wales moves further into the spiritual side of wellness. Forest rituals, moon gardens, community spaces, it all feels slightly surreal in the best possible way. And because the retreat focuses heavily on inclusivity and reflection, the experience feels less intimidating than some traditional wellness spaces. Aman Rosa Alpina takes wellness in a completely different direction. This is mountain air, long hikes, freezing mornings, and then disappearing into a spa afterwards for hours. It feels active, but deeply restorative at the same time, almost like earning your recovery instead of simply booking it. The next retreat goes the opposite way entirely. Private infinity pools, oceanfront suites, spiritual healers, sunset tequila tastings are all part of the experience at one and only Palmilla, the kind of place where wellness feels cinematic rather than minimal. Then there's Rajakkad estate in India, which strips almost everything back. No packed schedule, no rigid programming, just mountains, silence, hammocks, and enough space to disappear into your own thoughts for a while. And honestly, for a lot of people in their 30s and 40s, that kind of quiet becomes incredibly appealing. The Scarlet in Cornwall feels calmer in a different way. Clifftop views, candlelit bathtubs, wood-fired hot tubs, long solo dinners without anyone questioning why you're alone. It's less about transformation and more about finally slowing down properly. Euphoria Retreat in Greece leans much more into physical reset. Structured fitness, holistic therapies, recovery programs, sauna circuits, the kind of place people go when they want to feel mentally clearer, but also physically rebuilt by the end of the week. And then there's Uxua in Brazil, which barely feels like a retreat at all at first. It feels romantic, tropical, playful. There's beach yoga in the morning, ocean sunsets later, body treatments mixed with music and movement throughout the day. More glow-up energy than silent meditation. And honestly, that's probably the bigger point here overall. Wellness in your 30s and 40s stops being one specific thing. Sometimes it's stillness, sometimes it's community, sometimes it's hiking through mountains all day before collapsing into a sauna afterwards. But if you're travelling solo, and you want well-being without isolation, calm without awkwardness, and connection without forced group energy, what stands out very naturally as one of the strongest options overall is Flashback Pause.